I have everything they say you should have.
Right.
You know, I have the husband and the kids and the family and the business and, the nice clothes and the fancy this and that. Why do I feel so empty? Why do I not feel connected to any of this? Why do I not feel like I'm accomplished, right?
Hello and welcome to your favorite podcast, Rooted and Rising, a place for women like you and me who are tired but ready to come back to themselves. And thank you so much for joining us on all our episodes thus far. It's meaningful work. It means so much to me that you sit and you dedicate time to listen to the conversations that we're having because they're important. And today we are welcoming our guest, Lerielle Cole Pierre, who will introduce herself. But today we are going to talk about purpose in a way that you've probably never heard before. So we are not going to talk about trying to find your purpose. We're going to talk about what you have to shed to reveal that purpose. L'Oreal, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I am ecstatic to be here. I've been looking forward to this for so long.
Me too. So when guests come on the show, I spend a really long time thinking about who can come on, who has a story, not of this happened to me and boohoo, but women who've had a story of triumphing over tragedy. And you and I know each other in a few different capacities. So we met at a work event first.
Yes.
And then we met in the therapy room because you're my client, still are. And then I'm going to do a workshop for you. So by the time this is, we would have already had it. And if you're not in the BizT community, I want you to head over to Lerielle's page and join because it is going to change your life if you're an entrepreneur. So do that, right? Quickly, bookmark this, go and sign up and then come back. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been up to.
Well, that's such a loaded question. So I'm trying to figure out which angle to use to tell you about myself. But I'm Lerielle, I think, human first.
Right.
I'm a wife, mom, business owner, entrepreneur. I love leopard print, so I have to put that in there. I'm a friend. I am just a woman, a Caribbean woman, just trying to find my space and own my space boldly in this world. So,
Yeah. There's so many roles that we play. I like that you said find your space. So off camera, we were talking about purpose and planning the show. And I actually did not write the notes until last night. Now, I'm not a last minute person. But the reason I took so long with the notes is because I was thinking about how do we normally approach purpose? And it's this very pressured thing, right? Like you have to find your purpose. And there's this one thing that you have to do with your life. And I spent a lot of time and it came to me late last night at 10:03 p.m.
very specific.
This is 10:03 because I was staring at the laptop and I'm like, this show that I want to do is not the show that I'm writing. So I chucked the notes at 10:03 p.m. because I was thinking that the way we approach purpose, I don't feel like it's quite the best way.
Mhm.
And we were talking off cameras, we were getting ready. So I'll start there and then I'll let you speak to it. So my feeling about purpose is that instead of racing to find something, maybe it's about shedding things that we carry. And in the shedding, something will be revealed
Yeah.
that can correct our course to find that purpose. And in your BizT launch, when it was my turn to talk, I remember saying that I saw this meme with snakes and I was terrified because I have a snake phobia, but I stayed with it. And the caption said that 2025 was the year of the snake and women were shedding so many things. And when I thought of purpose like that, I thought shedding. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, my thoughts are exactly that, right?
Right.
Especially 2025, because obviously through the work that we would have done, 2025 was a major shedding year for me. And the thing with purpose and just life in general, I think that we are so quick to get to the end goal that we miss the work or we miss the mark of who we have to become to get to the end goal.
Right.
And so for me, when I think about purpose, purpose is how you serve the world, right? Because it is my internal belief that we are here to serve others. That's how the world will work.
Yes.
While you serve others, others will serve you, right? So it's a domino effect. But the funny thing with purpose is while we are meant to serve others, I think we have to first serve ourselves and understand ourselves so that the meaning behind us serving others is real and it's authentic. Because when you're doing things, and I mean, as humans, we naturally want the accolades and we want the praise and we want the recognition. But really, at its core, purpose is just how do you serve others from a genuine place without wanting or expecting anything back? And to do that, you have to do a lot of deep self work, right? Because again, it's how genuine are you in your service to others? And so when you talk about shedding, for me, that it's like you hit the nail on the head because it's like you have to shed the pretense, you have to shed the, the lies or the make believes or, the Instagram, the meme Instagram versus reality.
Yeah.
I feel like
I love this.
that's really what it is. Like, do you want to have the Instagram life? But we know Instagram is just a highlight reel and it just shows curated things versus what is actually real. And I think for us to get to that real impact that we have to make, it starts with us. So that for me is what purpose really, really means.
You'll talk about shedding in a little bit, but do you find that your personal experience as a woman, do you find that you were encouraged in your life to meet yourself and to know you and work on yourself?
Yeah. No.
Did anybody ever?
No.
Yeah. Me neither.
And again, I think it's because as humans, we value others' opinions, and the world always is presented to us like this is how we have to show up, and this is how we want people to think of us. This is how you should do things. Think about like as a little boy or girl, girls are not meant to do this, or boys are meant to do that. Like we are constantly shaped by other people's opinions or by other people's commands. So I think we don't really get an opportunity to say, actually, no, I don't agree with that, or I don't think about it like that, or what do I want? And so for me, I lived in a household that was very pretensive. I mean, it was, you don't say this, or you don't tell people that, or you don't, you know what I mean? People don't need to know that, or, your business is meant to be seen or heard in the house only, not outside of the house, and I don't think we understand how those tiny little things, or we think it's tiny and it's, trivial, but it really shapes us as adults. It shaped me because I feel like I grew up very, I had to be well put together. I always have to look like I have everything figured out and I have to be the strong one. And I would project a certain persona, or personality or image. But deep down inside, I'm like, I don't agree with that, or it feels off, or it doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like me. So yeah, I think we are taught to not be, in a sense, as genuine as we feel,
And you grew up in the Bahamas.
It is.
And I grew up in Trinidad, but it's the same story.
Yeah.
This morning when I went to do my makeup, the girl, she's really nice. But her mouth slipped and she said something that wasn't Queen's English.
Okay.
And she said, oh my gosh, I just sounded like I was from Pinal there, right? And she laughed. And I was like, oh, I'm actually from Pinal, which I am. And she's not, she thought, yeah, I'm a Pinal girl. And she felt so bad, but I said, that's actually a moment. I said to her, that's actually a moment. I said, because I told her, if I had said what you just did growing up in my house, my mother would have wrung my mouth. Because you have to be like this.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's this performance.
Correct.
And my home is very chaotic. Like I tell people, my home is a 3-ring circus, chaos inside. But when we go out, this is the perfect family. Like my parents were real good looking.
Right.
My mom was always put together. We have this bright little child and we're just doing this.
Yeah.
And the little me got buried.
Yeah.
under the performance. And it's only when I turned 45, I started having moments of, wait, do I like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I like this person? I realized there were people in my life that I couldn't stand.
Like, even if their name is family.
Family. I had a friend for 12 years.
Right.
I ended that friendship last year because I had to come to the realization after 12 years, this person is a bully. And I've been playing the role of a good friend for so long, I didn't even realize she turned into this.
Driving.
Yeah, I was
That
I
you're
was
just
like, I couldn't do this. So there's ideas of pretending,
yeah,
performance,
correct.
children not being asked, and I know children aren't the boss of their experience, but simple things like, did you like that?
Correct. And I mean, for me, like me now having two young kids, and boys, even at that, I am so intentional about giving them a voice so that they, one, know that it's okay to speak, but also they spend time learning themselves, right? So, yes, as a parent, you want to guide your kids and you know, there's right versus wrong. But I'm so intentional about helping them to discover their voice and tune into their feelings and their emotions and really understanding themselves, because I think that's how your world is shaped, right? And for a long time, I would say for most of my life growing up from a little girl, because I had this very structured, um, very structured is what I will call it. Like, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be the brains, you're supposed to know all of your schoolwork, you're supposed to be, you know, the trophy winning student, you're supposed to be the sweet little pretty girl, like all of these things. Now, mind you, it wasn't said out loud, but that's what I felt, right? And I was the only girl. I had two brothers. I was the only academic child in my house too. So there was a pressure that I had to perform all the time. And because of that, when I got into adulthood and even to the point when we started working together, I didn't trust my own emotions. Like, I knew what I was feeling inside, but I still kept telling myself, no, that's not the right thing, because performance says it has to be this, even though it felt so off for me. And to be able to trust myself and trust my emotions. And the hard part is standing up for those emotions. So a lot of shedding for me in 2025 when I made a conscious decision to meet Lerielle. I didn't want to meet LCP, the brand. I didn't want to meet Lerielle, the little girl. I didn't want to meet Leary, the best friend. I wanted to meet who is Lerielle, the human first.
Yeah.
And so that was a journey.
She said something so powerful that you said that nobody ever told you, but you felt it.
Yeah.
And there's a deep knowing that we grew up with as little girls that it was never said to us, but I just know that I have to be like this, and even have words for it. And that kind of thing, when we're developing, I really want to emphasize for the woman who's listening to us now, how much that shapes us, and we don't even have the words and the language for it.
Correct.
I had to be perfect as a child. I remember I passed for my first choice, which I still do think is the best school in the country. So maybe now I passed for NAPS. I went to Naprima Girls, and it was hard to get into. At that point, we weren't well off, and my dad was a fisherman, and my mom was just kind of taking her off in her career. And people thought that I passed for this school because we had money. We didn't. My dad is a fisherman, right? Like, he used to pick me up from school bareback and barefoot. And I remember the first time that I brought my report book home, I was so proud of myself because I got like 97, 98, 99 and things. And I was so happy to carry this home. A friend from school told me that now they email the report to the parents. So these poor children, you don't even get to see a report.
See it first.
But I went home bright-eyed and I showed my mom my report. And I was like, wow, I came from this rural family in Penal. We never made a donation. I did really well. And my mom looks at it and she's like 97, 98, 90. So what happened to the other mark? Where it went? And that did something to me that stayed with me forever. And 2 years later in Form 3, I literally sat down and I said, just not going to bother to do well in school anymore because nobody cares. And my performance went downhill. It was so bad, and teachers were meeting and asking what's going on, and they want meetings and they're writing any things. But now, as an adult, I understand that you're being asked to perform, and when you perform, it's still not good enough, and you completely lose your identity and yourself, and you take that into being a wife and a business owner and a
Correct.
friend. And it's only when I turned 45 I started saying, you know what? I don't feel good about the way that I'm doing all these big things in life. Did you have a moment like that? What was that like?
Well, yeah, I mean, the moment I reached out to you to be my therapist.
So I shared it with you.
Yeah, because I mean, for me, it was again going through my entire life feeling like I was, the lead actor in this big movie, right? That's my life.
Yeah.
And so I'm literally performing my best, bringing home awards and being, the poster child for excellence. But I still felt empty. And so when I made the decision to jump into full-time entrepreneurship the second time around, I had done it for about I had just finished my second year in full-time entrepreneurship. And at the end of, I think this is the end of 2024, and so January rolls around, 2025. It's a milestone year for me and my family. My first son is turning 5. My second son is turning 1.
Yeah.
Both my husband and myself are turning 40. So I'm like, it's a major year,
stuff,
right?
yeah.
Because everyone tells us these are major numbers to hit. And so I remember at the top of the year, I had always made a promise to myself as a little girl. I wanted to take my family to Disney World when I had a family of my own. Now, growing up in the Bahamas, travel was just a normal way of life. It's close to the US. We travel every weekend. So I was
Right.
exposed to travel very, very early, all throughout my life. And I've done a lot of traveling. And we did all the theme parks, but we never did Disney World
Right.
because it was always too expensive, right? This is what, my parents would always say. So I made a promise to myself, when I have a family of my own and I'm able to do so, I'm going to take them to Disney World. So January 2025, finally the month is here. It's a milestone year. We go to Disney World, right? I get to take my family to Disney
Crown
World.
jewel.
Because this is what I lived my whole life for, remember?
Yes,
I'm the
yes.
lead actor, and it says once you get to Disney,
Yeah.
you have arrived.
Yeah.
Name it.
Yes.
And I remember walking into Disney World, and of course, yes, you feel those feelings of nostalgia and accomplishment because you've been telling yourself your whole life, this is what success looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it, and I stood in the middle of Walt Disney World,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, this what I wait my whole life for? Like this is Disney World?
Yes.
You know what I mean? On one hand, don't get me wrong, I was grateful that I was able to provide for my family in that way. And I met a childhood dream of mine. But at the same time, that same dream was a dream of Lerielle that was pretending, or that was being told, this is what success looks like. And in that moment, I said, I don't feel anything. I don't
Right.
feel, all the starry-eyed and bushy-tailed and all the excitement. It was just very anticlimactic for me. So when we returned from that trip, I literally sat on my desk the first day of work in 2025, and I said to myself, I have everything they say you should have.
Right.
I have the husband and the kids and the family and the business and, the nice clothes and the fancy this and that. Why do I feel so empty? Why do I not feel connected to any of this? Why do I not feel like I'm accomplished, right? And that's when I knew it's because I'm not being authentic to who I am. I don't even know what that is, And so,
Yes.
long story short, that's how I reached out to you, and we started to do the work on becoming. And I think it's through the work that we would have done. I'm so proud of who I am today, 1 year later.
Yeah.
And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, like everything that I do have and the meaning that I put behind things is because it's what is valuable to me, and it's about the impact that I make on others.
Yes.
So
You see this acting thing?
it's exhausting.
It is exhausting. So the biggest change as your therapist that I've seen in you when you first came in, first of all, you held yourself differently.
Tell me.
So therapists, we have eyes and ears like nobody else, right?
Yes.
You just kind of see things in people. You came in and you were like this.
Uptight.
Was it uptight?
uptight?
I'm trying. No, it's
Or performative.
almost studied.
Okay.
Almost studied. And then, like, I'm looking at you now, and this is pure relaxed.
Yeah.
It's regal. How you look is regal, but you're very relaxed. So some of you will be listening on Spotify. You all need to head on over to YouTube and see the regal, relaxed, and the outfit. But there was a stiffness.
Stiffness, yeah. Very
That's-
rigid,
yes.
very structured,
Yes.
very much uptight.
Mhm, yeah. And it started over the year that we had therapy. It started trickling away.
Yeah.
And I saw it. And there was a thing that you would do. I don't even know if you would say it, but I remember one day I told you, it doesn't have to be perfect, or we talk about your feed.
Right. Yes, I remember that.
And I was like, it's amazing. And you were like, no.
No.
And I was like, yes. And then that led into a conversation. I was telling you, the reality doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. And I know when the light bulb just went off for you and you became just relaxed. I find that you became
You gave me permission to just...
relaxed. Breathe. You have to breathe.
Yeah.
And the thing with the acting, so when you said just now you were acting, I was picturing you on a stage reading a script. And I'm like, hang on, somebody gives us the script.
Yeah.
Because the actors are not, that's not them.
Correct.
They've been given a script and they rehearse the lines and
They play.
they do the thing. And then when they go off stage, that's the real person. The thing is with us is you never get to come off the stage, right? So tell me some of the things you had to shed that took you off this performance.
Well, I don't know how much time you have left in this episode, but I feel like I shed myself, or an old version of myself. I think that was the most major part of the shedding, but also the most magical as well. And I gave myself permission to trust what I felt and trust that I'm coming home to me. I think that was just... I couldn't be more proud of the work that we've done.
That you
Thank
came
you.
home to yourself.
I came home to myself. So it first started with that, me giving myself permission to trust what I'm feeling, to feel what I'm feeling too, and then trust that that is going to be my guiding light moving forward because it's authentically me. So I shed old versions of myself.
Yeah.
I shed really, really painful relationships that I've had in the form of close friends, close family members, relationship with my mom, my brothers, my parents, that changed. My relationship with my husband changed.
Yeah.
My relationship with my kids changed, right? And in shedding, I mean, we tend to think that shedding is painful and we're losing something.
Yeah.
And while, yes, that is a part of the process, shedding is also, in my mind, making space for what really aligns with who you are, right? And it's a part of the journey of coming home to yourself. So it's okay to let go of a friendship you've been clutching onto for decades because you feel like you can't go on without them. And that was my story, right? I held on to friendships because, again, the performance says friendships are detailed by how long you spend with the person, and not the quality of the friendship, not how it makes you feel or doesn't make you feel. You know what I mean? Same thing for family members. Because this person is your mom or your cousin or your aunt, that means you have to tolerate the discomfort and the hurt and the pain, or just... I'm just not interested in being around you. Shit, that being... I don't like you. I don't like the person that you are, or the person that I become when I'm around you. You know what I mean? And so again, by me giving myself permission to not just feel what I feel, but actually lean into that, it allowed me to just be free. And I stepped into those relationships, walking away. And I've never been more snotty nose. And of course, the tears are rolling down because, I mean, it's something that comes to an end that was once important to you. But I've never felt lighter and happier and more free and more aligned and more excited for the next chapter of what's really meant for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, shedding saw me in 2025 let go of a lot of long relationships that I've held on to, friends, family members. Again, old relationships with my husband, the way that we did things.
Yes.
Even how I approach my kids changed, and for the better as well. You know, now that I was able to find my voice, I was so much more intentional now about giving them space to find their voice and trust their voice as well. And so it has completely just like code switched everything that I do now.
Those are four huge significant relationships.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to start from the top. So just to name some of the relationships ended and some of them shifted. So the
Oh, clients too. That was another one.
Right.
Those are my top 5 shares.
So we have clients would have exited,
Yeah.
friends would have exited, and mom, husband, children, the relationships changed.
Shifted.
And the way that you moved in the relationships changed. How did you know you had to shed that friendship? I'll tell you why I'm asking. There's this thing with I've been friends with this person for 20
so long.
years.
Yeah.
We went to school together, friends for life. Or there's this thing that I have been seeing on social media, which I detest. No new friends. That's a whole other show, but I just absolutely hate it. I find it so foolish.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? But I think we've been really guilted into it's almost a life sentence where you have to stay in the friendship. So when I was coming out of this friendship with this person, and every time it was this venom thing. And my husband was the person, and I started to, I guess what he thought was complain about it. And one day he said to me, well, he and I were so different, right? He was like, why you so? Why you so quick to cut off people? And I remember thinking, but it's been 12 years though. If I were quick to cut off the person, it wouldn't have been such a long friendship.
Correct.
And I can compare the beginning when it was healthy and good and nourishing to 12 years later now where I'm scared to open the phone because I don't know what her tantrum will be today. I don't know who she cursed in work. I don't know who she's bullying.
Yeah.
I don't know how much work I have to do to soothe her because it's never enough. And I remember my husband was just not into it at all. He was like, why you're so? And I did talk to him about it, and I said, I've changed in my friendships where I don't just want to have somebody to line with.
Yeah.
I want someone who I admire and look up to and respect.
Yeah.
And now it's essential for me to have in a friend the quality of you treat people well and you can course correct when you realize that you're being unkind to people. And I told him, I was like, I'm 45, like I'm too old for this now.
Too old for that, yeah.
And I told him, I said, from now until the rest of my life, I'm going to start every sentence with, I'm just too old.
Yeah.
And I almost got this sense of, not really from him or maybe, that you're not supposed to end a friendship. What's that about?
Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're told to do. Like, you're supposed to hold on to, remember, time trumps everything else, right? So right. Time trumps everything. So take the abuse, take the bullying, take the discomfort.
That's just how she is.
That's just how she is, right? And for a long time, I really did that too, because for me, the length of the friendship meant more than the health of the friendship and how it made me feel.
That's so good. Could you say that?
The length of the friendship trumped the health of the friendship.
Yes, that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do, because we're taught, same thing with marriages. You stay through everything, and you no matter what. And and in a sense that was the case. And for me personally, because I grew up in the Bahamas, I didn't have any of my family members there, right? So it was just myself, my parents, and my siblings, my two brothers. So all of my aunts, uncles, cousins, extended family, everyone was in Trinidad. So I clutched onto my friendships as my family when I was growing up, right?
Gotcha.
So for me, it was like you don't dissolve those friendships because they were your family as you were growing up. And so I developed this idea that I need these people in my life, or because they served me in a particular way when I was 5, 10, 15, they're no longer serving me in that same way at 40, but I still had this level of attachment and obligation to see it through, right? Because people evolve and people, people go through ups and downs. So as a good friend, you have to understand that and stay through it. But for me, it was always, why am I the one to be so considerate of everyone else and their evolution and their experiences? But do I not deserve the same? Do I not deserve to have someone I can count on or rely on, or someone that makes me feel good, like I'm a good person?
Right.
And for me, each of those friendships, because I walked away from many friendships in 2025, and each of those, I held on to them and they did things to me. And yet, when I am the one that made the decision to walk away, I verbalized it, obviously trying to resolve. That didn't work. And when I made the decision to walk away, it was like, Lerielle is the big bad wolf, right? So, what about your actions that made me walk away? What about how you made me feel, right? What about all of the wrong things that you did, but you're still not willing to acknowledge or to change the behavior?
Yeah, there's no
So that's
accountability.
okay.
Yeah.
But when I decide enough is enough and I've gone through too much of the abuse over the years, suddenly I am the problem. But I just had to get to a space where, again, coming back to finding home in myself and trusting myself enough to know that, Lerielle, you are feeling this for a reason and nobody is going to stand up for you. Only Lerielle is going to stand up for you. So if you don't do that, you will dedicate your entire life to people pleasing and to creating a space that you're just not happy in. So, yeah.
Do you find I'm out. Do you find that the heartbreak of ending a female friendship? Well, I'm asking because I'm asking faith.
Yeah.
I find it's akin to or almost
I think it's worse.
Chabanco. I find it's
I
worse.
think it's worse.
Yeah.
It's worse because, especially for me, I walked away from one of my closest friends. And I defined myself by that relationship. Like, she was the silver star. I had her on a pedestal. Like, she is the best person to ever walk into my life. And I defined myself by that friendship, right? And she's a great person.
Yeah.
She has great qualities, and I look up to her. I still do. And I still hold on to those beautiful memories. Some of my best times through my entire life have been with these women. And I had to be okay with letting go because they served the Lerielle of yesteryear.
Right.
But now I need to make space and own the Lerielle of today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it was the most painful thing I've ever had to do because I saw myself with these women for the rest of my life.
And it's so there's this grief of letting go of a female friend who's known you for a long time that I feel like we probably don't talk about.
Enough.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, we
So I went to my therapist and I was telling about some of the things that had transpired in the friendship, and we had gone to this this trip to Miami, and I was telling my other friend about the friend's behavior on the trip, and my other friend, she's a therapist, and she listened to the whole thing. And when I finished telling her some of the things that the person did, including leaving my luggage unattended in Miami airport.
Oh my gosh.
So when I found my luggage and I went back to her thinking she would have been front, she was rocked back very relaxed with her own luggage, having her soup. And I was like, should I? Yeah. So I was like, should I check my luggage for drugs? Because it had been missing for some time. Like, it was really, we in Miami, I watch TV, or like I watch Narcos. You could have drugs in my thing, right? Thankfully, there was no drugs. But I remember telling my friend, and my friend was like, that is a friendship ending vacation. You need to get out of this friendship. 4 years later, I'm still in the friendship. And I remember saying to her, and I look back on it now and I think, what was wrong with me? But I'll tell you what was wrong with me. I said to her, there are things that I still get from this friendship that I don't think I'll get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I look back on it now and I was like, why were you so scared though?
Yeah.
What made you think that love is in short supply
Yeah.
and that you can't find anybody else
Yeah.
and that it's you have to hold on to this no matter what? And you know where that came from? Me and my mom. Me and my mom, because she would withhold love if I wasn't perfect. And I didn't even realize that I was replaying some of those old patterns in the friendship. Like if I'm supportive all the time, it'll get better.
Yes.
If I listen to her tantrums, it'll be fine.
Correct.
If I stay on the phone with you whole day and I walk you through a million bullshit crisis,
Yes.
and then it was just never good enough.
Correct.
And I thinking of leaving the friendship, I used to get this big knot, like of panic in my chest. And I realized, wait a minute, this is little you feeling scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you have this person up here and then it will never happen for you again. And now I'm like, what the was wrong with
Well,
me?
I mean, you're seeing it through a different lens now,
That I'm
right?
older,
Because you're
right?
older,
I've
but
had
you're
it for-
also more trusting of yourself and that you'll be okay. And I think for me,
Yeah.
that I never saw myself walking away from any of these friendships. It was always Lerielle is a problem solver, so we're gonna talk it through. We're gonna make attempts to repair and resolve. And
So you
keep
initiated
communicating
repair all the time?
all the time.
Would anybody ever initiated with you?
Every last relationship that I walked away from,
Right.
every last.
Does it hurt to say it now?
It doesn't, because I understand that that is just how I'm made up. Like I want to try, because for me, when I walk away knowing I tried, and I walk away knowing that if it didn't work, it's for a reason. But the reason wouldn't be because I didn't try. And trying is important for me because when I love and when I care about something, I want to preserve that and I want to repair it if it's broken, and I want to, replenish and give effort behind it because it's important to me. And I do that with work, with my kids, with my friends, in every facet. Because I don't want any guilt attached to I should have or I could have or I would have.
Right.
No, I'm going to do it.
How did you know you tried enough?
I think when there was no longer a feeling of wanting resolution, like I was settled with if it works, it does. If it doesn't, I'm okay. And I think, again, that comes with coming home to me and how I felt. Before, I would have these clutches on my friendships and my relationships in general. Like, I need them to survive. I can't see myself. They were my go-to people. If I had a problem, I'm calling you. If I want to have fun, I'm calling you. If I want to, they're my go-to people.
Yeah.
And naturally, that's what our relationships do. We as humans, we want companions. We want people that we can rely on. And what I didn't realize, though, was that I created this fear or this alternate reality that I need these people to survive. If they're not in my life, then, oh my God, what am I going to do? Who am I going to talk to? How am I going to work through a problem? How am I going to go somewhere by myself? No, you can. And you do. And you're fine.
I mean, even when we say it now, I know it sounds kind of jokey.
Yeah.
But when we're in it, that
It's really
feeling
hard.
is
Yeah.
so
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And again, I never intended to walk away from any of these friendships. I did not.
I know.
I didn't go into it with any intent of doing that. But when you come home to yourself and you realize what's important to you, even the best of people, you can have an amazing person, but if they don't align,
That's true. Yes.
if they don't align with who you are becoming and who you want to become, then it's okay.
And that's the thing too, is that most of them aren't bad people.
Yeah.
Because my friend and my therapist was telling me, you still have to grieve. Yes, I know. It's weird being a therapist in therapy. Like I knew she was going to say it because they were good parts, but
no, I think you just have to be brave enough to listen to you, right? And I have to listen to my emotions, and I felt
it's more than emotions. I think it's this deep.
It is.
Again, it's a deep knowing in your gut that the more you ignore, it just gets so
the more
loud and
disconnected you
it
become.
starts coloring
It's so true.
everything. And you can end relationships with people who are good,
That's the thing.
They're fine.
I think that's where my discomfort came from for a long time, because these are great people.
Right.
My best memories are with these
Yes.
people. You know what I mean? When I look
Some
back,
core memories.
core memories,
Yeah.
core memories, my happiest moments, my most fun moments, my most life-changing moments, a lot of them happened with these people there in whatever capacity they served, right? Because it was multiple relationships I walked away from. So for a long time, I felt guilty, like, how dare you think to not do life with these people? Like, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do life with these people. You know what I mean? But I had to be brave enough to choose what Lerielle wants first.
Yes.
And again, that's why I tried, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't making this decision out of hurt or out of anger or out of revenge in any way.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this to spite you. I'm doing this because I'm home with me,
Yeah.
and what I feel and what matters to me trumps what you say or even how you make me feel.
Yeah. So you're a mom, and we'll have moms listening. So I don't have children, so that switch for that maternal love never went off in my brain.
Right.
So I like to talk to moms who are good moms. When you came home to yourself and you started listening and you got to know yourself and the new skin felt comfortable, how did that change you as a mom?
Whew. I have never, some people, females, like they spend their whole lives, especially as little girls, like always wanting to be a mom and a wife and, to create this pretty home. I was never like that.
Okay.
I knew that, of course, I want to have kids, and sure, it'll be cool if I have a husband, but that was never like my thing that I want. It was never my dream.
What was your dream?
To be honest, just to be a teacher or to do something fun. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing that now, but yeah, I never really had that. For some ironic reason, I feel like I was always career focused, even as 5-year-old Lerielle.
Yeah.
So I'm home to myself there, for sure. And I think I told you once, I made a joke to myself, I'm envious of myself as a professional. Like, I admire her because she has all of the qualities that I want. I think I told you that very early on when we started working together. And by the end of the year, I was like, I actually love Lerielle, the person, more than the professional is just a bonus.
Yeah.
But I actually like who I am as a person. And that, I think, too, that's the journey that I went on, actually liking who I am. So as a mom, I think that going through that process made me, ironically, two things. One, it made me actually feel like I feel their laughter, I feel their joy, I feel their pain. I've never done that. Even having my kid is now 6 and 2, right? So for the first 4 years of motherhood, I felt like I was just in performance mode. Like, okay, you're supposed to have all of the matching bags, and they're supposed to have, neat clothes and hair done. And I did all of the performative stuff, right? Now I'm there for my kids, but I felt like internally, I just felt numb. And coming home to myself now, like, it's no better feeling than seeing my kids genuinely laugh and even cry and just express themselves, because I want to give them space to be fully themselves. You know what I mean? So I take joy in that. They have healed me in ways that I didn't even know I needed healing. Like, my first is incredibly intuitive. So he'll always be like, Mommy, are you okay? Or he'll surprise me and pick a flower from the garden every single week and bring it to me. Mommy, look.
Boy, that's so sweet.
He would just give me random hugs and say, I love you, Mommy. Those are things that I didn't have growing up, right? And so as a mom, I feel like I am charged with the responsibility to create a better world through my kids. So whatever the world needs, I'm trying to raise kids to provide that. So, and that's purpose work.
That is purpose work, yeah. There are people who, some of my clients are stay-at-home moms, and they say things like, well, I don't really do anything. And I'm like,
no, but you do.
excuse me.
You absolutely
You are raising
the
the next generation.
You're raising the world.
And you're making a home,
Yeah.
a lovely home for your family, which is important work. That's purpose. And purpose is not this big fireworks thing, right? It could be that you live every day calm and just with love, and you you cook your meal with love for your family. I think is wonderful. I know when I cook and I'm vexed, like you could taste, you could tell the food. You could tell it's never good. That's purpose. It's meaningful to have. I don't have children, but I have a pet, and I know I probably love her a little disproportionately to what she is. But I know that it's because I have so much love to give.
Yeah.
Why can I not pour it into this?
And it's in whatever
But
you
to my
do. It's not
kids,
just
right?
it's not just how you serve professionally or, through your kids. It's every little moment that you create. That's purpose at work.
Yes.
So you interact with someone, and something my mom always did and said as I was growing up. You treat the janitor and the garbage man the exact same way as you treat the CEO. And in
Exactly.
fact, I actually get along more with the
Yes.
janitors and the
Same,
cleaners
yeah.
than the CEOs. And I remember the guys would come and collect garbage once a week, every single Sunday. And my mom, every single Sunday, would take a cold beverage out to them. So while they are emptying garbage, she's bringing them a cold beverage. And at the end of the year for Christmas time, she always give them a gift
That's
when they come
purpose.
around. That's
That's
purpose work.
purpose.
And through
Exactly.
that, I'm able to see that you don't have to have a big title or have a lot of money to do it. It's genuinely, what is the impact that you make on people every single day?
Yeah.
And again, going back to what I said in the beginning, you can't fully adapt and embrace your purpose work if you are off as an individual or you are disconnected with who you are. You know what I mean? So I think purpose, if we take nothing away from this, is really just what's the impact that you want to make, or what is the impact that you do make? How do you make people feel, or what difference do you make, right? One of my favorite quotes of all time is be the change you want to see in the world. And so I live every day just trying
Yes,
to do that.
you do. I know you do. What has been the biggest change in you as a wife in this new skill?
Yeah. Well, that's a living, breathing challenge. Yes. Lord knows. My husband drives me crazy.
Yeah. I think
Well, very good. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm very tight. But up to this morning, we're having this discussion, and he's like, my son had a birthday party. We did a whole Chuck E. Cheese thing for him, right? So at one point, all the dads are in one corner, kind of huddling and talking, and then the moms are obviously seeing about the kids and running around and doing all the organization. So we're catching up on how the event went, and he's like, yeah, boy, all the dads, all of us have the same struggle. All the wives feel we lazy and we don't do enough, and we. And I'm like, oh, you thought it was just you? I'm telling you.
Good thing we had this party.
Good thing we had this party, if nothing else. So now you see, it's not just me that has to struggle. But I mean, I say all that to say,
Yeah. That's too funny.
the marriage part is a work in progress, right? Because I mean, how could someone that the kids is one thing, because with your kids, like, they're kids, so you expect them to, not listen or, mess up the house or do these things. But when a grown man is doing it, you're like, listen, said, God is still working on me with you.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think, from a marriage standpoint, I'm a lot more patient, a lot more understanding. I give a lot more grace. And I think because I've shed a lot of that performance work that I would do all the time, now it's not as important. Like, I don't lose as much. I still lose sleep. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I don't lose
I love that.
as much.
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick example. So I got a new car recently, and it got in a big accident, but so I'm navigating that.
Mhm.
And even that in and of itself was like, the old Lerielle would have like blown through the roof.
Yes.
And I handled it, and I'm there comforting the guy who did the accident. I'm like, it's okay, nobody died, it's okay. Like, this only can be God, because if it was me last year, you might have been in the wall with my vehicle. But anyway, I digress. So I was really proud of how I handled that. So we're looking at the damage on the car, and then I noticed like one of my rims on the other side is like totally scratched.
Yeah.
So I was like, babe, do you know where this came from? He goes, oh, I forgot to mention.
He forgot. He forgot.
More like he chose his battles wisely. Anyway, so he scuffed my rim.
Right.
And again, old L'Oreal would have literally like blown through the roof. And I was like, it's material things.
Yeah.
Accidents happen. I'm not going to like choke you for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It does. It changes you.
it changes you.
And one thing that I noticed too in my marriage, so my husband and I were so different.
Yeah, mine too.
People used to make this joke when we used to work together in Patricia. My group didn't know who he was, even though they worked together. Like for a year, I didn't say anything because I know my husband private. And when they found out, because the day my mouth slipped, and they were like, "You are married?" And one of the guys said, "You just beat your husband." And I was like, "What?" Because he's quiet,
Right.
calm, he's a little shy. I'm like, rah, rah, rah.
Right.
And then I noticed when I got to know myself better and I felt more at peace,
Yeah.
I started realizing, Mom, this man is exactly what you need in your life because you can't live with someone like you. You would burn the house down.
I remember. Yep. But
So I need his calm.
yes.
And when he moves slow, and I think it's driving me crazy, I'm like, Self, maybe you could slow down too.
Correct.
And that I think there's a lesson in there when you accept yourself a little more, it allows you to better love and appreciate the differences in the people around you too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like you, I mean, I'm polar opposites with my husband too, right? And I remember just before we got together, because we were friends for like a decade plus before we actually started dating. And so he saw all of the boyfriends and, all of the relationships past, right? And I remember the person that I was with just before him, he all the bells and whistles, the travel and the spending and the things that make girls' eyes glisten.
Yeah.
And I remember going through that relationship, and it was a shit show by the end of it. It ended, obviously. But I was so sure, like, I want to marry this person. This is it.
Yeah.
And he tried to leave, and I begged him. I was like, please, give me another chance. Thank God. Better judgment prevailed on his part, right? I was completely out of my... Talk about a performance. I was fully in performance mode. Anyway, I say all that to say, I always tell my husband, I said, God gave me what I wanted to show me what I needed. And he is who I needed. And he is someone who I'm building a business. He is... just to come here today, he's like, I got the kids, do what you do. Like, he's not in his male ego. He allows me to stand fully in my light, and I don't have to dim that just because of his ego. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And that to me is when you have a real man.
Oh, yeah.
With a capital M. Yeah. When I used to make more money than my husband, like early on in the marriage. And this is before I learned to keep your mouth shut and not tell people how much you're making. And I would tell a couple of people, and they'll be like, "Oh, so your husband is really beat up." And I was like, "No, he says that he's so proud of me."
Yeah.
He's like, "Look at my wife. She has this job and this." And he is, when a good husband is they could be the wind beneath your wings. They're not fighting you. They're not competing. My wife could soar. Look at her wings. Wow. That's a good man.
Yeah. And he lets me be me. I don't have to perform. In fact, he calls me out on the bullshit every time. He's like, good. Why are you sounding like that? Or why are you behaving like that? Like, that's not you. You know what I mean? So
Same thing.
So I like that. I mean, he drives me nuts, as do I with him. But I mean, at the core of it, like, ride or die, I know he has my back, and he gives me space to fully be me. And that's the only thing anyone could ever ask
When you
for.
want that, you have everything.
Well, not everything.
Yeah.
I could use a few more things.
Not a few more things, but that's
But I guess the deep purpose, purpose work allows you to see that. And that's the thing too, right? With purpose, like you think the Instagram world makes you feel you need this, and you need all the flashy, and you need all of the bells and whistles, when really at your core, you just need to feel loved. You need to feel safe.
Safe, yes.
You want to feel happy and at peace. Like, this man lets me go to sleep at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. every single night. He sleeps on the couch so that the kids don't interrupt me, so I can get a full night's sleep.
Cool.
You know what I mean? So, and again, because I was able to do that shedding work, and because I was able to really come home to myself, I could really actually appreciate that and not feel like, yeah, whatever, it's cool.
Exactly.
Now I'm actually like deeply grateful for that,
Yes.
because that says, Lerielle, I'm giving you permission to just be.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. Oh, my heart. Question time? So I'll mix them up between light and not so lightish.
Let's do it.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yeah. White coffee or black coffee?
Black.
Black. All right.
We like black stuff over it.
You all heard it too. Heard it here. Do you prefer planning or spontaneity?
Planning.
You're a planner.
I am a type A.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It drives my husband crazy.
Okay.
I plan everything.
All right.
I plan sleep. I plan fun. I
Yep.
plan everything.
Do you have a spreadsheet for when you go on holiday?
I do.
Your spreadsheet. Good.
I do.
Okay, got you. You know when it's the spreadsheet, you're a planner. Yes. All right. What makes you feel good after a hard day?
My kids hugging me and smiling and laughing.
Yeah. What are you aspiring to protect more fiercely in your life?
My kids, my peace, and my son.
Yes. Okay. This is the big question.
All right.
This is my signature question for when I get bigger than Oprah.
Not when. This is going to happen.
Yeah. You'll look out for it. This is my signature question. So there's a woman listening to us here today.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't done the shedding yet.
Yeah.
And she's going through it. What do you want to tell her?
I want to tell her, one, it's worth it. Do it. We're built to do hard things. I am living proof that the light always shines at the end of the tunnel. So if you're in the tunnel, you're in the darkness, you're in the heaviness, know that those things are happening to create the woman that sees light really soon.
Yes.
So please don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
You'll see the light.
Because
Yeah,
you
it's
have
there.
to. You have to do the hard in order to appreciate the easy. Because when it comes to easy, you're not going to value it. You're not going to appreciate it. But there's something that's being birthed in you. There's something that you need to learn. There's something that you need to value and appreciate in order to be that light for someone else. So don't give up.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
It was my absolute
This
pleasure.
nourished me as I know it will nourish everyone who's looking. Thank you for spending the time with us. Remember, bookmark the episode, come back to it, give us a subscribe and a like, and tell us down below in the comments what part of the show was your favorite. And stay tuned for the next one. Until then, we love you. Bye.